You know what's wild? Right now, as I'm writing this, people are marching through American streets holding signs that say "No Kings." And I can't help but think, do they realize they're literally repeating words that got people's heads chopped off? Like, actually chopped off. Here's the thing about power. It doesn't give itself away. Never has. Never will. So let me take you back to January 1649. London. It's freezing cold, and there's this massive crowd gathered outside the banqueting house in Whitehall. They're not there for a concert or a festival. They're there to watch their king die. Charles I, King of England, Scotland, and Ireland. About to lose his head. Literally. But here's what gets me. This isn't just about one dude in fancy clothes getting executed. This is about an idea so dangerous that it would reshape the entire world. The idea that maybe, just maybe, we don't actually need kings at all. Think about it. For thousands of years, thousands, humans just accepted that some people were born to rule and others were born to obey. It was the natural order. God's will, whatever you want to call it. Kings weren't just political leaders. They were supposedly chosen by God himself. Divine right, they called it. You don't question divine right. You just bow. But then something shifted. And honestly, it started with taxes. I know. Sounds boring, right? But Charles needed money for his wars, and Parliament said no. And when they said no, he dissolved Parliament. Just sent them home. Imagine if a president today just said Congress? Nah, we're done with that. That's what led to civil war. Brother against brother. Father against son. England tearing itself apart over a question that seems so obvious to us now, but was absolutely revolutionary then. Who gets to have the power? Oliver Cromwell and his Roundheads. Called that because of their short haircuts, which honestly sounds like the lamest revolutionary nickname ever. They won. And they put the king on trial. A king. On trial. Like a common criminal. The audacity of that moment. I don't think we fully appreciate it. They charged him with tyranny. With being a traitor to his own people. The prosecutor basically said, "You're supposed to serve the people, not rule them." And Charles? He refused to even recognize the court's authority. In his mind, he answered only to God. Not to Parliament. Not to the people. To God. They found him guilty anyway. And on that freezing January morning, Charles walked to the scaffold. Some accounts say he wore 2 shirts so he wouldn't shiver. Didn't want people thinking he was afraid. He gave a short speech. Said he died a martyr. Then he knelt down and done. The executioner held up his head and shouted, "Behold, the head of a traitor." But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Killing the king didn't solve anything. Cromwell basically became a dictator himself. Banned Christmas, theater, dancing. Made himself Lord Protector, which is just king with different branding. When he died, they actually dug up his corpse and beheaded it. I'm not joking. They were that angry about what he'd become. England eventually brought back the monarchy. But, and this is crucial, it was never the same. Kings after Charles knew they ruled at the pleasure of Parliament. The people's representatives could remove them. Had already removed one. Could do it again. Fast forward to 1776. A bunch of colonists in America literally wrote a document that said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." Equal. Not subjects. Not servants. Equal. They were basically screaming, "No kings," across the Atlantic. And France? 1789? They took it even further. Didn't just execute their king. They executed his wife, the aristocrats, anyone who even looked like they might want a monarchy back. The guillotine worked overtime. It was brutal, chaotic, terrifying, but the message was clear. So when I see people today holding "No Kings" signs outside government buildings during a shutdown, when I hear them worried about executive overreach, about one person having too much power, they're tapping into something ancient. Something that's been written in blood across every century. Because here's what history teaches us. Power concentrates. It's like gravity. It pulls everything toward the center. Toward one person, one party, one ideology. And if we're not constantly, actively, almost obsessively pushing back against that concentration, we end up back where we started, with kings. Maybe we call them presidents for life or supreme leaders or whatever, but it's the same thing. The core theme here isn't really about government shutdowns or specific policies. It's about the eternal human struggle between those who want to rule and those who refuse to be ruled. Between authority and liberty. Between because I said so and prove it to me. Every generation thinks they've figured it out. that they've built a system that can't be corrupted. And every generation has to learn the same lesson. Freedom isn't a possession. It's a practice. You don't win it once and keep it forever. You have to choose it, defend it, fight for it, every single day. Those protesters? They're part of a conversation that started when the first human refused to bow to the first king. And it's a conversation that'll continue long after we're all gone. So yeah, no kings. Not now. Not ever. But only if we remember why. If this made you think differently about power, about history, about the signs you see in the streets, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe, because I'm going to keep connecting these dots between our moment and the moments that made us. History isn't dead. It's happening right now. We just need to recognize it.